Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca back at the Church of Chewbacca, and today we're going to go over two more subscribers' teams, give them some team advice, and today we have Wastedxyears and Willmorin. As you can see, they're two teams. First, we're going to go over their team, give it a little bit of an overview, then we're going to compare their team and what my team advice is side by side. Let's get into it. First, we're going to go over Wastedxyears. As you can see, he has Howitzer, Speedster, Shutdown, and Distributor activated. Let's look at his roster real quick. He has Mario Lemieux, 89 overall on the first left wing. Then at center, he has 92 Sean Couturier, Hut Fantasy Hockey card. He has Base McDavid at the first right wing. On his first defensive pair, he has a 91 overall Cale Makar, Hut Fantasy Hockey. Then the 90 primetime Zdeno Chara. On his second line, he has Guy Lafleur, Bronze Hut Icon, 88 overall. Then he has 90 overall Saku Koivu, Franchise Great. Austin Matthews, Dynamic Duo, Volume 2, 87 overall. Then he has Brent Burns, Team of the Week, 87. Shea Theodore, Team of the Week, 89. Then for the third line, he has Joe Sakic, Hut Icon. Dennis Savard's Past Meets Present, 87 overall card. Then he has Brock Besser up to a 90 overall on his Hut Fantasy Hockey card. On the last defensive pair, he has Brian McCabe, Past Meets Present, 85 overall. Then Primetime Jake Muzzin. For the fourth line, he has Alexander Nylander's Winter National card. That was the Christmas gift. Then he has Team of the Week Tyler Seguin, 88 overall. Then Team of the Week Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 87 overall. Then Andre Vasilevsky and Martin Brodeur, which will give you distributor 1 point each. And then he has Brian Fiddler as his coach for the 3 distributor points, which allows him to activate distributor. And as already mentioned, the Howitzer, Speedster, and Shutdown. Let's see what we can do to improve his team. We're going to try to get a second team synergy activated here. Wastedxyears' team will be on the right. The team review will be on the left. So on the first line here, we're going to keep Lemieux and Sean Couturier. You can upgrade this Couturier to the 93 overall if you want, but we can keep him at 92 for right now. It's not that big of a deal. Then we're going to bring this Marian Gaborik, Franchise Great. I believe he's about 250,000 coins on the market for PlayStation at least. He's going to be relatively temporary in my head at least, to where you don't have to necessarily be like, oh, I have to invest 250 coins to keep him there. There's going to be some guys that you'll see on the fourth line that you'll be able to upgrade to keep your spark, but I do think this Gaborik fits in really well. You could also go with the Sidney Crosby. That's a Franchise Grade 89 overall, but he's about 100k more than this Gaborik is, and actually these Gaborik's attributes is pretty ridiculous. He has 91 speed, 91 acceleration when you get the bumps. His shot isn't the most accurate, but he does have a very hard shot at 94 slap shot and wrist shot power, and then you're looking at 88 for his slap shot, wrist shot accuracy. Good hands, good defensive awareness, and whatnot. So I do think this is a very good card for your first line. We're going to keep the Cale Makar on the first defensive pair on the left side. We're going to bring up Jake Muzzins all the way up to the first right defensive pair. We're going to sell this to Zdeno Chara. I know he has decent value. It's not that I don't think that Zdeno Chara is very good. I do actually think he's a great card. I just think that you need the coins to put other places to get this spark activated. If trading or getting rid of Chara is a no-go, let me know in a direct message and we can maybe work something else out. I have a few other moves in my head, but I don't want to make like a 50-minute long video, so we can talk about it offline. But this is what I think is the best build for what you already have on your team. Looking at the second line, we're going to keep Guy Lafleur and Saku Koivu at the left wing and center. We're going to bring in Valtteri Filppula for this Austin Matthews. It's a guy that has Speedster, so he's straight up replacing Matthews with the Speedster, but he also brings in Spark. On the second defensive pair, we have Brent Burns and Ty Smith. We're bringing in this Ty Smith who actually skates very well. He'll skate well enough for this Brent Burns, who will have 86 acceleration, 88 speed. And I think that that's a decent defensive pair. You're going to have to sell this Shea Theodore once again to get some coins to buy guys like the Gaborik and the Filppula. It's just to make sure you have enough coins to get some of these players that you want to pick up on top of whatever coin stack you have sitting around. For the third forward line, we're going to get rid of Dennis Savard. We're going to bring in Ansi Kopitar. Then we're going to keep Sakic and Besser. I just swapped them wings. For the third defensive pair, we're going to bring this Lit or Grit Erik Karlsson, 86 overall. Keep Brian McCabe and put him over here on the third defensive pair on the right side. By doing this, it will allow you to have Karlsson and McCabe. Karlsson's a very fast skater. McCabe's a little bit slower, so it'll make up for McCabe's slower speed with Erik Karlsson. So I think that's a nice little pairing. Then on the fourth line, this is where we get a huge change. Alex Nylander is going to stay on the left wing. We're going to bring in Joe Nieuwendyk and Dale Hawerchuk for their spark. They also have Gladiator. You can also upgrade these guys to Silver long term, which will give you 2 spark in each one, as well as 2 Gladiator, so it'll activate the Gladiator amongst themselves. I think it's cards you can build into. Then for goaltending, we have Andre Vasilevsky. We're going to keep him as your starter. I'm assuming you like the card if you have him as your starter. But as the backup, we're going to bring in Anton Khudobin for the 2 spark. We're going to keep Brian Fiddler as the coach. And by doing this, what we do is we're going to have Howitzer, Speedster activated, and then we have Distributor and Spark. We do give up the Shutdown that you had on your team, but I think it's well worth giving up Shutdown to trade it for Spark. I think this is the way to go. I think adding the Spark gives you a little bit more speed on your team. It's going to make guys like the Brett Burns a little bit more viable, so you're not worried about him starting out like he has cinder blocks for skates, as well as the Jake Muzzin even gets a little bit better skating because at 89 acceleration. Put him with that Cale Makar as a bigger body. This McCabe and Erik Karlsson, as I mentioned, Erik Karlsson 94 speed, so he'll make up for McCabe's lack of speed at 85 and 83 acceleration. I was trying to think of a different solution for this Brian McCabe, and the only other guy you could possibly bring in here would be this Whitney, but this Whitney card is expensive. So if you want to bring in Ryan Whitney, that's fine, but I still think he's about 100K because he's one of the better cards that has Distributor and this Howitzer, but he's a much better skater than that Brian McCabe is. So if you want to bring in a little bit better option, you can bring in this Ryan Whitney. I'll save it just so you have a different look for both of them on the video. But that would be my suggestion. I think this team's very good, gives you the spark and Distributor. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now that we've knocked out Wasted Years team, let's move on to WillMoran. WillMoran's team has Gladiator, Howitzer, Speedster, and Distributor activated. Let's go over the lineup here. He has Guy Lafleur on the first left wing. He has the rental Wayne Gretzky as the first center, so he's definitely coming out of the lineup because we need a permanent solution here, not some temporary thing. Then we have Andrei Svechnikov, Winter National, one of the Christmas rewards on the first right wing. Litter Grit Erik Karlsson in the first defensive pair with Philip Broberg, who was the World Juniors Fantasy Hut card. Then we have Mario Lemieux on the left wing, Sean Couturier at center, and Evgeny Malkin to round out the second line of forwards here, who is an untradeable 89 Team of the Week card. Then we have Justin Schultz and Victor Hedman. It's Victor Hedman's Team of the Week 86 and Justin Schultz Prime Time that I've been really hyping up. I think this is a great card to put in your lineup. Then on the third line, we have Brock Besser, 87 overall Hut Fantasy Hockey, 88 Team of the Week Ansi Kopitar, 85 Sam Steele from the NHL 2030, Jonas Holos and Jakob Slavin both have Distributor. This is the Winter National Norwegian card, and then the Dynamic Duos Volume 2 for the Slavin. On the fourth line, we have Brett Hall, who is untradeable, bronze icon. Then Daryl Sittler, who's another bronze icon, untradeable, 85 overall. Then we have the Litter Grit Matt Duchene, Andrei Vasilevsky, Aiden Campbell as the goaltenders. Campbell has Distributor and Swarm. Then we have Brian Fiddler for 3 Distributor points. Let's see if we can get another Team Synergy activated for WillMoran as well. As always, the original team's on the right, the team advice is on the left. Looking at the first line here, we have Guy Lafleur. Bring up Sean Couturier under the first line. Upgrade him to 91. That's just kind of a reminder. If you want to upgrade him to that, you can, or you can leave him at 90. Then we have Andrei Svechnikov that we're going to have here still on the right wing. We're going to pick up Drew Doughty and Eric Brandstrom. I think this is going to be a great first pair. They both have Swarm. Also, the Drew Doughty has Gladiator as well, which will be activated as it was on your original team. On the second line, we have Mario Lemieux. Going to keep him at the left wing. Bring in Daryl Sittler. Upgrade him to the silver icon. Yes, it's going to cost a few icon collectibles, but I think he's well worth it. Then Evgeny Malkin is going to stay on the right wing here. Here is Erik Karlsson. Just bump him down from the first pair to the second pair. Bring in Brad Park. You only need his bronze card for right now. You have the ability to upgrade him to silver later on, which will allow you to get rid of the Drew Doughty or the Brandstrom in the future. But even with his bronze card, I think he's a little bit slow on the acceleration, but with Erik Karlsson, he'll be more than fine. He still has great defensive numbers. 88 speed should be more than enough in the game for right now, especially for the fact that he's like 6'1", 6'2". For the third line, we're going to upgrade Brock Besser to the 89. I just threw in a random number in there so that you know to continually upgrade him as well as a Sean Couturier. Claude Giroux, we're going to bring him in franchise grade. He's about 55 to 60K, I believe. 87 overall. This is a great card. He has really good faceoffs at 89 for the 87 overall. Pretty good speed with 91, 88 acceleration. His shot isn't the hardest, but it's definitely accurate with 90. Wrist shot accuracy reminds me a lot of Sidney Crosby, where he seems to score a lot of goals, even though he doesn't have the hardest shot in the world. Great hands, and obviously, as mentioned, the defense awareness and stick checking is 91. Bring up Duchene from the fourth line to the third line. We're going to need his speed a little bit with this Giroux and Besser. He's going to be flying around with this line right here. Then Justin Schultz and Philip Broberg are going to be on your third defensive pair. So we're going to bring Broberg all the way down from the top pair to the third pair, and Justin Schultz from the second pair to the third pair. For the fourth line, we're going to have Brett Hull, keep him the same. Bring in this Bobby Clark, just his bronze card to make sure that you activate the Swarm. Then you have Yu Sato. We're going to bring him in, 84 overall, Winter National, Japanese card. And I've talked about this card before, but he has 97 wrist shot power, 98 slap shot power, so he shoots the puck very hard. With distributors, he's going to get to 88 speed, 85 acceleration. So it's not the best speed acceleration, but he's only 5'9". So with that 99 agility, he's actually pretty shifty. And he takes faceoffs at 87 if you do want to put him at center somewhere over somebody else. Then on the goaltenders here, we're going to keep Vasilevsky and Campbell, which will have you activate Swarm and Distributor with Brian Fiddler as the coach. So what we're looking at now is Gladiator, Howitzer, Speedster still activated the same as it was on your team, as you can see. Then we're going to have Distributor activate Swarm. I think this build will really help your team defensively because it's going to add all of the attributes for the Swarm, which, as we've already mentioned numerous times on this channel, it's agility, hand-eye, defensive awareness, and stick checking for +4. The defensive awareness and stick checking on all the cards is absolutely huge when you're talking about defense. And I think it really makes up for some of these cards that lack a little bit of the defense. A guy like this Malkin is definitely going to be nasty. Look, it's an 89. He's going to play 91.2. He's going to have great defensive awareness and stick checking for the back check. He already has decent speed at 90, 91 agility now. I think this is going to be huge for some of these cards that lack a little bit of agility, that feel a little bit blocky whenever you're playing with them, and I guess is the best way to describe it. I think this is going to be a huge upgrade to your team. This is what I would go with. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's going to wrap up the team advice for Wasted Years and WillMoran. I hope it helped you guys out to figure out how to get that Spark or Swarm depending on what your team is. You can always gear it the other way towards Swarm or towards Spark, but that would definitely be the second synergy that I get after Distributor. And I think at this point in the game, it's very key to start getting team synergies. So that's something I always advise, is to always go after team synergies, because it helps your whole team, not just like the 4 to 6 guys that the player synergy is activated on. If you'd like me to review your team, make sure you subscribe to the channel first off, then second, join the Discord. That'll be in the description down below. Drop the link to your team build on NHL Hut Builder. That way we can look at the team, I can review it, and I can produce it in a video. That's probably the easiest way to go about it. If for whatever reason you don't have Discord, message me on Twitter. I will also put my Twitter information in the description, but I prefer to keep it on Discord because it's just easier for me to organize. As always, I appreciate all the support. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with any of your friends that play NHL 21. You guys have a great day and be safe.